So welcome everybody. This is VOLTHA TST meeting on 28th of January 2025. Before starting, let me remind again that this meeting is recorded and will be published on the YouTube channels. So let's again start with the BIST status and discuss about the acceptance of the M1.4 item. So Jan or Joachim, could you give an update? Yeah.
Allow me to share, please.
Sure.
Here. Okay, first, about milestone 1.4, as we mentioned, we have upgraded everything that it's to be upgraded. I take it that it's, we have an explicit answer from Radis is that they don't have any firmware for the alpha, and the document is updated for review, as we mentioned last week. So unless there is any comment on that, we will consider this milestone done.
A question about the OLTs. Okay. So you also upgraded the firmware on the OLTs.
Yep.
What are the current agents on the OLTs?
I'll have to check. I will say that those are described, mentioned in the document. Let me open it because I'm fairly sure that those are explicitly mentioned in the document. Let me see if I can open it. Let me open I'll open a local copy. I think I have one. Yeah, there it is. Okay, but you are not seeing it still, right? No, you are.
No, it's the presentation.
Let me stop this, and I will share the whole screen. And now you can see it.
Yes.
Those are the yeah, this is for the kernel and the operating system, but I think that here we have a mention of all the ONL files, the instruction for the upgrade, and the specific files that they have used. Is for the here you have for the cycle. This is the radices, and here it's the atron.
You didn't replace the agent, right? It was what was given with the package.
I think that we have the one that I think you sent us by email at some point, or you shared at some point.
Okay, if that's the one, that's the latest one from the master patch.
This, what we we took the latest version. We don't have upgraded anything since we released the document, and want to prepare the document, we took the names of the files that were installed there, and just in case we added the hashes of the files. And all of these are available in one of the machines in the lab.
So if needed, do you update the OLTs manually, or is it that Jenkins pipeline doing that?
It's, I mean, for the agent, that's Jenkins. There is a YAML somewhere that says which agent, which exact file needs to be installed. That needs to be present in the OLT. We also have those here in this registry machine as a backup, and it's the pipeline that it's automatically installing those.
Okay. So if a new agent is needed, then we need to prepare a new Debian file for the OLT and put the place that the Jenkins job expected to be there.
Yep.
Is that process?
Yep. That's it. I mean, that's how it was exactly. So we added them here in this machine just for backup and to have a central repo of all the binaries. But the one that's actually used is in the one in the OLT. That's, I think, part of the first.
And you get this firmwares, OLT firmwares from for the Redis OLT from Redis, for Atran OLT from Atran, and from Zyxel OLT from the vendors, I mean.
Yes.
All from the vendors themselves. So you didn't build anything.
No. That at some point we had that with Zyxel. They supplied us some source code, but there were some drivers additionally required and so on. But we think, I mean, it's preferable if this is a control build by the vendor.
Okay.
That's how we think this should be. Oh, sorry. Otherwise, we will be open to it works here, not here. It is exactly built the same. That's also why we added the hashes of the files. These are binaries, so even if sometimes if at some point comes with the same name, we are able to check if this is exactly the same file that it's been running or not.
Okay, then this question goes to the TSD members then. So we are releasing VOLTHA 2.13. So how do we upgrade the OLTs with the new agents out there? So every time we need to request it from the vendors?
Yes, even before as well, it was the same. I think so. Only the agent was getting built, but rest of the things was needed from the vendors.
Okay, so there is no way to upgrade the agent itself only instead of a whole Debian package.
Yeah, we need to have the environment to build it. Then we should be able to build without the vendors.
Okay, let's say we requested from the vendors and we gave them the code and they created a new Debian. Then how we can upgrade the OLT?
Yes, but
is it?
Yeah, correct. So we also can build only the agent.
Yeah.
But again, that should have the environment to build it.
Yes, let's say we have the environment and we build the agent, then how we will update the agent in the OLT? Or let's say we have the whole Debian package, then how we will do the upgrade? That is the question actually. We should have the ability to upgrade on ourselves without help of BISDN.
I mean, you do. It's only a matter of copying over the deb file to the OLT.
Mm-hmm.
The credentials and all that are included in the guide on the IPs and so on. And then in the pipelines, in the pod YAMLs, that's from the top of my mind, that's where you specify each pipe, which version of the agent does the pipeline use.
Is it documented in this document or?
Don't think so, because that's how it was. That's not something that we changed, but that's how the pipelines are configured to run.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
So it's let me see if I can find it.
So those pipelines are still working, and
Yes.
you check. Yeah.
So it's let me. This no, okay, no, this is the, I'm sorry, the Kubernetes configs. Here. So it's in the configuration for each of the pipelines. That's where you specify which OLTs it's going to use to run the pipeline and which version of the Debian package it's going to be using.
And if you put this Debian file in the OLT in the correct location, then it will be updated by the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's in the build pipeline, that's the one that set up VOLTHA, and at some point here in the process installs the
reinstall OLT software pipe. Okay.
Then there's the whole thing that's Jenkins that do you want to commit that to the repo, launch that in master so it runs in the default pipeline? Do you want to manually run a pipeline with a specific config? It's part of the testing itself on the regular behavior of Jenkins. And it's something that's
Okay, got it.
just dropping the file, uploading the updating the pod configs, and you're good.
Okay, thank you. So anyone has VPN access can do this upgrades. At least can put the file in the correct location, and then the pipeline will handle the rest.
Yes, that's it. And here, I think at some point you have all the in the guide, you have the API, how to connect to each of the OLTs. Okay, then so we'll mark this as closed, and then for milestone 3.1 about the pipelines, what we have done also is go ahead and create some Jira tickets for the open issues that we see remaining in the pipelines. For this Atron and Radisys, same as last week. One is about the absolute bandwidth. I mean, there is test works, but the bandwidth is not met. So we suspect there's some configuration issue there. There was a ticket that Christina opened in the previous run, and that's still what's happening. For some of the other tests that are that you see here that fail not always, but most sometimes fail or sometimes not, is this ticket. It's because the ONUs, I mean, the pipelines are expecting the ONUs to be in the active state and they are activating when the pipeline runs. This is when this is doing the restart and delete and go on. So that's the issue behind the remaining errors. And sometimes also we have things here the OLT agent that sort of gets stuck. That's Avila's one thing that we talked about, I think, end of last year. There is a patch here that we have tested, but that's more of a workaround that's solving the root issue. Because what we did here is try to catch the error, restart the OpenOLT agent, then the rest of the pipeline works, but that's not, we expect the solution as it should be. We tried again to run the pipelines with the master version of the RW core, but that's still throwing more errors. You have that detail in the email. And yes?
Jürgen, so the agent, what we provided, that still has some issues because it should have been fixed from the fix.
Still, sometimes we see some errors. I mean, it's not recurrent. It's not always there. Most of the errors that are remaining here are related to this this ONU, the state of the ONU, but we have still seen that appear. It would be better to focus on fixing this one and then check if that's still there.
Okay, for 5178. So this is the V1 version of the Serco ONT. It's being tested with.
Say that again, please.
This upstream bandwidth. This test is running with the V1 version, plus was the DTV1.
I think so.
Yeah, so there is a problem with that V1 version. We already have reported this to Sercom, but they have given us only patch for the V2. So the V2 one should go through for this. V1 will have issues on the upstream side.
Then I think the decision should be, I mean, either leave the test as it is or update the test, because this version of the pipeline, I mean, runs for that. That's the ONT that it's being used. Either adapt the thresholds to what's known as good, or maybe skip the test. That will be our suggestion. Still, I mean, you have here the Jira ticket to track it.
Yeah, sure. We'll see how to skip this test for V1 or yeah, we can check. And for 5426, I'll just check what is going on. There are logs attached, right?
Yep. I mean, I'll send you details, because we have been running I mean, one thing also that's for the TST to decide, as we say here, we have left all the tests enabled, but they are not scheduled. So as we said last week, okay, I'm logged out. Previously, these were scheduled to be run once every day. But if you are going to be sort of debugging and trying that, we think it's more useful to have it like that. So they are manually triggered. Otherwise, you need to wait until the current pipeline runs before you can do your test. And as you can see for the times here, it's 2 to 3 hours the time you'll have to wait. So that's why we have left those unplanned. Okay, so we'll leave it. We'll leave those like that. So I mean, whenever you want to test, you just clicking here, and you can see that there's which one is this? And there's some executions, and you can here check the logs. Not for this one, because this is the build. Sorry, this one. You can check here all the logs. One thing to be, but that's again how this Jenkins server is configured. The test results are deleted periodically. I don't know what's the words that's defined or how many of them are kept. We have manually kept some of those, so we have the data available for you. But be aware that in some days, these executions will go disappearing. And in the meantime, you have here all the logs. Okay, that's when we mentioned that whenever this happened, then we have subsequent tests failing. But also, we changed this a little bit, so we are at least told in the logs what status the ONU is in. Earlier it said, yes, it's not active, so I'm failing. Now it's saying it's discovered where it's not active, so this is failing. You can check here, and if not, then inside you have even more detail. All the artifacts, what's deployed, and here also the robot results that gives you a little more detail.
Yep.
You have everything in here, but be aware of that these are the last execution we trigger. You want a new one, trigger it, consider the time, and be aware that the system will delete all the execution unless you keep them. If there's any one that you want to specifically keep, you can click here, keep this build forever. Okay. Then for the Excel pipelines, it's I mean, we have quite some errors. Most of them are again for the active, the status of the ONUs. That once the pipeline, let's see if I can make this bigger. Once the pipeline starts deleting and doing stuff, then sometimes the ONU don't come back, and then starts to fail. So that should be the first thing to fix, we think. You see, I mean, the initial test work. There's a data plane, that ping is running, but as soon as you start, the pipeline starts deleting and bringing things back, that's when the ONUs start this status change. For the TT pipelines, for the Radix TT, what we have is you confirm us that this multicast is not supported in this in the ONUs connected to the Radix OLT. So what we have, I mean, we have still open a ticket for that. Right now we have this manual workaround. So in the containers themselves, the iperf command, we have changed that. So then there's a check initially. If there's iperf, I do the test. If there's not, I don't. So these tests are skipped. And we have created the ticket for that. Then for the Saxel, we manually tested that it works. Still, again, it's when you run the robot test, that's failing similarly because the state of the issue. And we have a patch that we would like you to review because the iperf command in the test was not being properly launched. Okay, so it's who should we ask to review this? The question, because it's we did a small changes in how the iperf is run, because otherwise what happened here is that the Jenkins worker connects, runs the iperf, then logs out, and the iperf dies. And here, because of how that was being launched, maybe because of an update to the hyper, the log were not being properly stored.
Can you add me as a reviewer?
You can add TST members. So
Okay. Okay. I'm signing out. I'll do right after. And that's in here similarly. I mean, the test, the initial test pass, the end-to-end, this pass with the fix, without the fix, it fails. And then this disabling and deleting is the one where we start getting this ONU state not being in the proper place. And that's it. I mean, we have here, I mean, we have a bunch of execution. We've been seeing that it's stable, that what happens, trying to find the root cause of that. But our impression is right now the pipelines are behaving as they expected. I mean, detecting misconfiguration or bugs in the system to test. So that would be it from our side. I don't know if there's any comment or anything that you would like to have more detail on.
looking at a question about the multi-case test. So which criteria are checked, or what tests are done to check if multi-case is working? I mean, you said
It's I mean, the RG, it's joining the group. I mean, then we launch an hyper from an hyperface launch from the BNG, and it checked that the RG receives the traffic.
Okay, this is what the pipelines are doing.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're running a hyper and check if packets received in RG. Other than that, there are no other checks. Like,
no, that's
like the ones you're doing manual, like
No, when we are running
counters,
manual test, what we are doing is executing the same steps as in the pipelines, but manually doing that. I mean, we are not doing anything different.
Okay.
So we have always tried, I mean, whenever we test something, to repeat, I mean, copying over these these commands from here and running them, but just connected to either to the endpoints or to the Jenkins server.
Okay.
So that would be it for us. I mean, the one thing that we can think of is if the TST members want, we could give you quick walkthrough of how do we actually manually run this test. But that's something to be controlled, because I mean, changing something in the repos and waiting for the pipelines and so on, that should be the way to do this. Manually jumping into the servers, it's useful for debugging, but it's you have to be careful what state you leave the system in. So it's something that you will need to balance.
Thank you, Joaquin. Any questions to Joaquin? No. Okay, I think we can accept milestone 1.4 according to your explanations. So, any objections to that from TST members? Let me share my screen again.
Maybe I can quickly jump in here just to basically define the schedule from our side. So as Jochen said, so we're basically done with the work also for the other 2 milestones, right? So the pipelines are working as intended and are showing the errors that they're supposed to show because something needs to be fixed in the configuration or in the VOLTHA code or in the testing pipeline code or wherever. So the idea here would also be we would basically hand those things over to you, including the tickets that Jochen mentioned here. You can go through them, and then ideally you could just let us know maybe until end of the week if there is anything where you think there is open tasks from the BISDN side. And if not, we would basically close this as the last tasks in this contract.
So what you mean is, this is all that we can do. So, but I was expecting at least, working together to finalize and see everything green and then, set up the Jenkins jobs to run periodically, daily, and leave it there.
No, that's not really what the contract is about, right? Because we fixed the pipelines to the point where they now show you where the VOLTHA code needs to be fixed. We can't really leave this open until the community has addressed all of the failures that come from broken VOLTHA code, broken ONU configuration, or whatever else. That's something that was explicitly defined out of scope in the contract. So the pipelines are working. Now the code needs to be fixed, but that's not our thing. Yeah, I mean, we're happy to try to assist you. I can totally send you an offer for that, but this is not part of our contract here. Our contract was about repairing the pipeline so that they show you the errors.
Got it, understand. Okay, then, I mean, then I need to ask the TSD members if, they can check the current status of the SO and current status of the Jenkins jobs, etc., and get back to BISDN by the end of this week. Or do we need more time? I think we can discuss this, on Slack in TSD channel, but what's your opinion on that currently?
We can't do that, Mahir, but I have a request. Sometimes I'm a little bit lost in the Jenkins, so if we have a list of or the which jobs we need to check from which tabs, it would be perfect. So there are also some old jobs, some newer jobs. I don't know the latest list of jobs that we need to check.
I think they're the ones in
I
the
sense.
Sorry, I mean, the ones we've been using is the testing view that contains the 7 pipelines that we have been checking. Radices, Satran, Saxel for both DT and TT, the build and the test. All those pipelines are in the testing view in Jenkins.
Testing, you said? I don't see a testing view. Oh yeah, I saw it. Okay.
Somebody presenting something?
No. Can you stop sharing, Joachim, so that I can share my screen?
Oh, sorry, didn't see it. I was still sharing.
So do you see now the Jenkins page?
Yeah.
So this testing, you see that this is all the jobs that we have currently for the lab.
Yeah,
So
one
what,
thing,
Joachim, what's the difference between the testing and community pods? Because previously
community pods also had some BBSIM or something slightly different.
really shouldn't be any BBC here.
And there were this playground, the different version, and this check infrastructure, and the DMI. There's some other old jobs here. So it's a reduced version.
Okay,
What
so
I
it's
see
testing.
that you don't have is the permission to manually run the pipeline. Because when there in the list that you were, you should be able to see a play button.
Okay, here you say. Yeah.
Yep. Between the last and the coverage, there you should have a play button. So that will be most
Yes.
likely.
Previously, I had this. I remember I had this, and I, manually executed some of them. But somehow now I don't see any, as you said. There were play options here also.
Yep. Yeah, that's most likely a permission issue.
Okay. We will check on that and create a task for.
So what you are saying that all of the jobs we need to check under this testing tab, right?
Yes.
The other ones that we don't need to check, because I was also looking at this VOLTHA verify for some job failures. I think those are based for the Jenkins, not Jenkins. If we patch something, then that this VOLTHA verify jobs are running, right?
These are for verification of the patches mostly. There are VOLTHA 2.x tests. They are BBSIM related master tests. And there were community pods, but now testing for the lab, hardware tests. So these three are mostly the Jenkins jobs that we have. But the BBSIM tests are here in 2.x. So now we have also 2.13 for the release test. But I think we need to clean this, all these views and directors, etc.
Yes, I would be offering also, yeah. I
It's,
think we need to retire those old jobs.
yes.
Those are confusing, at least for me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
one question to the BACN guy. So you reinstalled Jenkins from scratch, I believe. Is that
We
correct?
did not touch Jenkins at all.
Oh, okay.
We suggested to do that because it would be a very good idea, but that was not within the budget.
I see.
And there are
Okay,
also
then
some permission problems that, policies, LF policies involved also. Because the Jenkins server is in the control of LF, so that it's not only the issue of the offer, but also some problems with the policies, LF policies.
But it would probably still be a wise idea to tackle this Jenkins reinstallation at a certain point while going through some of the configurations. There is a lot of artifacts there, and down the way, a lot of those might cause additional issues. I mean, there's these views that you see here, but there's a lot more stuff in the background that is not necessarily visible, because I think this server has probably been running for a long time now. So it might be good to do a bit of a cleanup at a certain point, and try to focus on the jobs that you actually need. The good part here is, since the jobs are basically defined in code, it should be relatively simple to reinstall the server and then re-import all of the jobs from the pipeline definitions with this Jenkins job builder. There needs to be certain parts obviously tackled there, but it should be possible to do that, and then you would have a lot cleaner slate with a lot less confusing artifacts lying around, and it will probably also be a lot faster. Yeah.
So Eric, I think if we need to upgrade the Jenkins, for example, we need to request this from you and LF. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we can have a meeting at least, with TST members and you, and decide how to clean all this, these views and directories, and also upgrading Jenkins. How can we do that and plan it to do in the next days? Say. Okay, I'll take the action to call a meeting for TSD members, start an email loop and ask your available times, and we can meet and discuss on that topic. Does that work for everybody? I'm asking to Eric and TSD members.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay then. So I'm returning back to the question that I asked. Is it enough time to until the end of the week? Is it enough to check the pipelines and etc. and get back to BISDN? Or do we request more time?
We need a
Actually,
bit of more
on
time.
my side, yeah, I need more time. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it in these few days. So at least one more week. I don't know if you were saying something here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
sure.
here.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like we don't necessarily want to push you to like do all of that in a very short period. It's just like we need to find a timetable of when we basically close this, because as said, there will probably be the need for certain patches. So things like Jochen talked about it a bit earlier, where some of the changes during the current release process started breaking the pipelines again, and then it's basically going back and forth with like more green, more red. So we would need to basically define this. This is done for now, and the rest needs to be done by making the code, either the testing pipeline codes work or other things. So we can then we do what, next Friday? So not the coming one, but the one after that.
Yes.
Okay, sounds perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So the next item on my agenda is about the release. So Eric, where are we on release?
As far as I know, what we need right now is the release information, the release notes.
Release notes. Okay. Previously I took this task, so I'll prepare a release notes in a Google Docs format and hand it over to you. Is that okay for you? Does that work for you? Or you want me to
Yeah.
edit the Volta docs directly? I mean, previously with Joy, we were working, in this way that we were preparing the Volta notes in a Google Docs document and handed it over to Joy, and he was, adding it to the Volta docs.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So other than release notes, we're done with the releasing process. And
I
we
believe so,
can,
yeah.
okay, then we can announce that we released Volta 2.13 then. Okay. But I think we still have some known issues. The issues that Joaquin and Jan, their team, opened to us. I think these are some problems we also had in BBSIM tests also. So I think if we can fix these issues, we need to apply them to the release branch also. What's your opinions on them?
Yeah,
Or this?
I know one problem with the recon side. It's a bit on-off. It's seen sometimes, and that's why we see failures in the test suits, because all the test suits have one test case, and it fails sometimes. We're working on it. The only thing is it's in the gRPC layer, so it's not actually the code. So I'm checking if we have to. The moment we update the gRPC library, then there'll be a lot of dependencies which needs to get updated as well. So we are checking this. I'll let you know if we are able to fix it well and good, or else we'll have to release note it.
And for the release notes, if everyone can go through their tasks, their open tasks, and if they, fixed it, they can resolve the task with the correct fixed version. That will help a lot for the release notes. And we have an item from the last week about the Volta docs. Because it is not released properly, we had an action item on Serkan to open a Jira task to Eric. Serkan, did you have the chance to open this task?
No, Mahir, no, I'm sorry. I forgot it.
Okay, then this action item is
Yeah,
on
please.
screen. Okay. Okay, then I don't have any other item on the agenda. Stage is open for the comments or any questions, etc.
I have a question regarding the draft for the offer that I sent out like beginning of last week for the maintenance part. Was there any discussion about that yet? Should we like go through that together at some point, or?
Yeah, we discussed it before the TST meeting, actually.
Okay.
We had a meeting on that. So we will send an email to you to ask 2 more questions about the offer.
Okay,
Basically,
perfect.
I mean, as I said, you will receive an email, but it's about, adding some, if it's possible to add some tests also in this, dedicated hours that you offered. And what was the second? I don't remember.
No worries.
And how to
Just send me the
calculate
email.
these hours? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You will receive email,
Okay.
and we can take from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, then that's all for today. See you all next week. Bye.